everyone, thank you for joining us. At this time, will you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by the high school band. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Aiden Rogan, who will be today's Master of Ceremonies. Aiden is the president of the National Honor Society and captain of the varsity basketball and soccer teams. Aiden also played the role of student representative to the school committee and is a member of student council, high school band, and the Humanities Collaborative. In the fall, he will be attending the College of the Holy Cross to study political science on a pre-law track. Please join me in welcoming Aiden.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our graduation ceremony. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our senior class Vice President, Jillian McDonald. In addition to being our Vice President the last 4 years, Jillian is an active member of the Sutton High School community. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Connections, and a part of the drama and photography clubs. She recently completed her internship in Sutton Middle School, working with Mr. Vandenberg's 6th grade English class. In the fall, Jillian will be attending Worcester State University, majoring in secondary education and English. Please join me in welcoming Jillian McDonald.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome families, friends, and faculty to celebrate the graduation of the Sutton High School class of 2022. On behalf of my classmates, we thank all of the significant people who are able to join us today. It is truly an honor to be surrounded by many influential people who have impacted our lives throughout our high school careers. Some will say it has been a long 4 years, while others will disagree and argue that these 4 years have gone by almost too quickly. Whether it be long due to the homework, the textbook readings, or even the presentations, it has been a short time because of the lasting memories and exciting experiences we learned and took away between the layers of 4 years. Good, bad, long, or short, here we are today, celebrating the closing of almost a decade of learning, but opening a chapter of new opportunities. But I'm not done quite yet. Before we leave today, I wanted to give you some graduation rules. My first word of advice is to take as many pictures as your phone or camera can handle. Take as many selfies as you want with your friends, find your favorite teacher or faculty member and do a silly pose. Miss Taylor, Mr. Loss, Miss Goddard, or even Mr. Kennedy are great for that. Or make it a funny photo with Mr. DeZago or Mr. Perrin. Smile in every picture so that someday when you look back at them, the memory will still be fresh. Next, acknowledge this moment for a minute. Take this moment to remember the small details. This might be the last time we were all in a room together. It's our last big event. Savor it. Be excited to never repeat any subjects you hated during high school. You can finally depend on your own panini press. instead of the schools. Don't forget to thank the people who have gotten you here today. Thank you to our friends, families, coaches, bosses, parents, and outstanding faculty. I will always be so thankful for the relationships, friendships, moments, and life lessons our teachers have given me. Try not to stress too much about your cap falling off. Please make sure it's not too far back on your forehead, or worse. Oh, too far on your forehead, or worse, too far back, making your once a forehead a five head. Additionally, while worrying about your cap position, make sure your tassel is on the correct side. Hopefully by now you know what side it is, and it's the right side, by the way. And while you're thinking too hard about your cap complications, don't trip as a result. Play it cool if it happens. Pretend that you planned for that. To the loudest for your preschool best friend you've known since forever, or for the friends you've made throughout middle school, and for the people you've walked the high school hallways with. To the loudest for the friends that have made lasting memories with you. Lastly, get ready to write down Mr. Perrin's wise words of wisdom. They may make you cry a little, but that's okay. And even if you tripped walking to the stage and didn't get a picture with your favorite teacher, you still made it here today, which is more than enough. Be proud of yourself for this accomplishment. 4 long years of hard work have gotten you here today. You've crossed the finish line. Congratulations.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Mr. Friend to the stage. As you all know, Mr. Friend is retiring after 32 years in education, the last 12 of which have been here in Sutton as our superintendent. If you are a student here, you probably have your own Mr. Friend story. Maybe he sat with you at lunch and talked to you about last night's basketball game. Maybe he was your playground monitor when you were in elementary school. Maybe he drove the bus for your team when the real bus driver didn't show up. Maybe he popped into one of your classes and joined the class discussion. Or maybe he just talked to you about your classes, how school was going for you, and what you liked about going to school in Sutton. For the past 12 years, almost the entire time the class of 2022 has been in school, Mr. Friend has been with us. He's worked hard to make our time here special, and we've been lucky to have him as our superintendent. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Friend to the stage.
Good evening. As the oldest member of the class of 2022, I thought it appropriate I say a few words. I want to thank the entire Sutton community for giving me the opportunity to serve as your superintendent for the last 12 years. I also want to thank you for allowing me to fulfill all of my professional goals and dreams. But most importantly, by hiring me, you fulfilled my father's dream of having a child follow in his footsteps. In 1980, which is frightening for me to say, I graduated from high school just like all of you tonight. That was 42 years ago. And at that time, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. But I was so fortunate to have the most amazing role model in the world. And that was my father, Thomas Friend. My father joined the Navy at 17 years old and was in officers candidate school through Worcester State Teachers College. He served 25 years in the active and reserve duties and earned the rank of captain in the Navy. My dad worked for the Worcester Public Schools for 40 years as an elementary teacher, elementary principal, and deputy superintendent of schools. At 18, like you, I chose to attend Worcester State College as an elementary teaching major. Having no idea what I wanted to do with my life, why not try to be like my dad? As it turned out, I followed my father's educational career exactly. My advice to the students here today, if you're like me and you're not sure what you want to do with your life, please consider following in the footsteps of a parent or a grandparent. I will tell you, the rewards are life-changing. And just one more bit of advice. The advice you should listen to most is from your parents and your grandparents. No one loves you more, no one knows you better, and no one is more invested in your future and your happiness. I wish you all nothing but the best as you navigate this crazy world that we live in right now. Please be safe as you celebrate these achievements. And once again, thank you for 12 fulfilling years as your superintendent. Thank you.
Tonight's guest speaker is a teacher that so many of us have been lucky to have. Mr. Matthew Perrin is a history teacher at Sutton High School, but he is really much more than that. Mr. Perrin's classroom is a place where you can always feel comfortable, but you're always challenged to think. He always finds a way to make his classes relevant to our lives and has helped us see what role we can play in the world. But he is also connected with us as people, sharing a witty joke with us, listening to us complain, or giving us advice when we ask. Mr. Perrin is the kind of teacher who you know truly cares about you and will help you no matter what you need. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome to the stage this year's commencement speaker, Mr. Matthew Perrin.
Welcome, parents, family, friends, faculty, administration, members of the school committee, and of course, the class of 2022. We are all here to honor the accomplishments of our seniors and to send them off into the great big wide world. In case you weren't paying attention, my name is Matt Perrin. I have been a teacher here at Sutton Public Schools for the last 18 years. I have been told that students either really like my class or they really don't like my class. It was quite a surprise when I was asked to speak here tonight. Frankly, I didn't think the class of 2022 liked me that much. Now that I'm up here in front of all of you, this is terrifying. I'm convinced that they don't like me at all. In all seriousness though, this is an incredible honor. When I accepted the invitation to speak at the commencement, I began to reflect upon my 18 years here in Sutton. I've seen close to 2,000 students graduate from Sutton Public Schools during my tenure. In this respect, the class of 2022 is not unlike any other class. But most students who have had me as a teacher will probably tell you that I'm rarely at a loss for words. So when I was planning this speech, it was a very humbling experience because I had no idea what I would say or what I should say. Not because there's nothing to say about the class of 22. These guys are amazing. They're brilliant, they're hilarious, they're creative, they're kind and compassionate. They have empathy and they care about their fellow human beings. They also consume food like locusts. If I had $1 for every goldfish, gusher, or granola bar that I fed to a member of the class of 22, I'd still be a history teacher, but I'd have more money to buy gushers, goldfish, and granola bars. But I am not ashamed to say that the class of 2022 is my favorite class that has graduated here at Sutton High School. The relationships and the memories that I've made with these members of this class are the most rewarding and the most cherished of my career. The students of the class of 2022 are some of the finest people that I've had a pleasure to teach. The challenge that I faced when playing this speech was, what could I say to these wonderful people that has not been said before? How do I give these students some wisdom that they have not previously heard hundreds of times? Ultimately, the answer I settled upon is that I can't. I cannot offer you any advice that is not already floating about in the cloud. but perhaps I can offer you some perspective. You are graduating high school. You are now officially adults. It doesn't matter if you're 17 or 18 or 19. Tonight is the culmination of over 12 years of learning. Some of you will go to college, some will learn a trade, others will go directly into the workforce, and some of you, a few, will serve in our nation's armed services. If we, the faculty of SHS, have done our jobs correctly, you will continue to grow and learn, intellectually and emotionally. This was our task, to teach you not what to think, but how to think, how to interact and make sense of the world around you. You'll never be alone in this endeavor, but as an adult, you now have the autonomy to choose how you will do it. It's not easy. It never has been. The world that we are sending you into is going to be challenging. The last 2.5 years confirm this fact, but you've shown resiliency and thoughtfulness in the face of adversity. Here you are. You made it. You labored through a global pandemic, reconciled a election fraught with voter fraud, and that was just the senior elections here at Sutton High School. You witnessed nationwide protests for the rights of minorities, unprecedented since the civil rights movement of the 1960s. You will take part and be part of an economy where, unfortunately, housing prices and inflation are outpacing wages and income. At the same time, we are at a crossroads on how to reconcile our reliance on fossil fuels and high gas prices and the insistence that we do something about climate change. This is the legacy that you inherit. As an adult, it is now your reality to face. This all sounds terrible, mostly because it is. It's not fair that this is your burden, but I am confident there is hope. All of these issues, all of these challenges can be met. And we look to you, class of 2022, to meet them. Don't worry, no pressure, it's just the future of our country. With you, more so than any of the 17 previous classes that I've seen graduate, I do not fear for the future. I embrace it. Because I know that in your hands, it will be a good one. Keep being the people that we know you to be. I would like to quote an author who is normally regarded as cynical, pessimistic, and dark, which is probably why I like him. Charles Bukowski wrote a poem entitled The Laughing Heart, which is uncharacteristically upbeat and hopeful. I think it is a fitting way to end. So here it is. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. One last thing I'd like to say, and only the seniors will get this, is don't cry over spoiled milk. Thank you. Good luck, class of 2022. We love you, and we will miss you greatly.
At this time, it is my privilege to introduce the high school band. It is my pleasure to introduce our salutatorian of the senior class, Dylan Dussault. In addition to being the vice president of the National Honor Society, he's a co-captain of the boys varsity soccer team and a member of the math team. He recently completed his internship at Work Human, where he's working with the finance team to analyze data about the tendencies in the company's customers. In the fall, Dylan will be attending Boston College, where he will be majoring in business with an intended concentration in finance. Please welcome the salutatorian of our senior class, Dylan Dussault.
Good evening, friends, family, faculty, esteemed guests, and of course, the class of 2022. I am honored to speak with you tonight and to be representing such an amazing class of students. Just about 4 years ago from this day, I was sitting in the audience of a high school graduation ceremony. My mom and I went to support a family friend that was graduating that year. At this graduation, a boy stood up to speak, but I honestly do not remember what he talked about or why he was even up there. What I do remember, though, is that the first thing he did was he thanked his mother for everything she did for him over the past 18 years of his life. Right after he did this, my mom turned over to me and said that one day I would also be up on a stage. She said it might not necessarily be at my high school graduation, but one day I would stand up somewhere to talk, and the first thing I should do is also thank my mom. She might have forgotten that she said that, but I didn't, so Mom, thank you for being my #1 supporter and always believing in me. I would not be standing up here today without you, literally. Also, her birthday is tomorrow, so happy early birthday, and thank you for celebrating my graduation when we should be getting ready to celebrate your birthday. My dad and my sister forgot to put a reservation in 4 years ago, but I figured they would still want to mention, so thank you, Dad, for having so much faith in me, and thank you, Ava, for always cheering me on, even though we argue a lot. I also want to take this time to thank Superintendent Friend, Principal McCarthy, Assistant Principal Laporto, Secretary Ms. Senecal, the school committee, and all of the teachers and other staff members that helped make the last 4 years of our lives such a memorable time. And of course, thank you to my 94 peers who have shaped me into the person I am today, especially my best friend, Griffin Melia. Griffin quite literally went through everything in the last 4 years that I did. We had every single one of our classes together this year. I genuinely would not be up here without Griffin. He has always been my go-to person for just about anything, not just school-related, but also someone to laugh with and vent to. So thank you, Griffin, for always being there and having my back. Okay, thank yous are officially over. Let's talk about other stuff now. As my high school career has come to an end, I've done a lot of thinking about how I spent these last 4 years. I realized I got very caught up in this routine of going to school, going back home, doing my homework, and repeating the process. But I also realized there's a lot more to life than just grades and doing schoolwork. Now, don't get me wrong, school is significant, and as many of us look to going to college as the next step in our academic journey, it was important to make sure we did well in our classes. But in 10 or 20 years from now, no one is going to be thinking about what they got on a calculus quiz or what they had as a grade in biology class during the 3rd quarter. What we do remember and hold on to in 10, 20, 30 plus years are the friends we made, and maybe still have, the memories we created, and the things we did. These are what shape us and make us better, well-developed people. While it's important to do well in school, it's also essential to just experience life. It's these adventures and events and encounters that we have that make us more complete individuals and set us up for success. While I ended up doing well in school, I unfortunately feel like I missed a lot of opportunities to go make new memories. I wish I went out of my comfort zone a lot more and learned to go with the flow. I got so comfortable with what I was doing that I avoided the unknown and therefore struggled to grow as much as I could during my time in high school. One of my math teachers, Miss Sypek, has this poem hidden in her classroom. It's kind of funny to me because I don't even think anyone else knows it exists other than me and her. It's on this 8x11 piece of printer paper in the back corner of the room, held up by 2 pieces of tape. And to top it off, it's a math classroom, so the last thing you would expect is a poem to be present, but I promise it is in fact there. It doesn't even have a title, and the author is unknown. One day, I got a quiz back from Miss Sypek, and I was a bit upset with myself because I made a silly mistake that I shouldn't have made. But Miss Sypek didn't care that I messed up. She instead implored me to read the poem on the wall that I had not yet discovered. Although short and mysterious, this poem proved to be impactful. It contrasted the ideas of perfection and excellence. It made me realize that for far too long, I had been trying to seek out perfection. I was getting too caught up in these small matters like quiz grades that have no relevance in the grand scheme of things. Excellence is about the journey, but I was only thinking about the destination. So instead, I discovered that it is more important to have a growth mindset where I accept that it is okay to be wrong. In order to grow as a person, one needs to fail. That is what makes us all stronger, better human beings. 2 people in my life that have achieved excellence are my grandfathers. I know this because they always have a ton of stories to tell. They can just keep talking, and there's always something new that I have never heard about before. Especially after either of them has a drink or 2, they just don't stop. They have so many stories. Stories about their successes, about their failures, and just about everything in between. And after hearing so many of their vast and unique stories, I worry that I do not have enough stories to tell myself. I fear that perhaps I should have been going out creating more stories rather than just doing my normal little routine of eat, sleep, school, repeat. I want to make sure that if I ever have grandchildren, I also have a plethora of stories to tell. Our stories are proof that we existed, and I want to make sure going forward that I do not miss out on opportunities to create new stories and tales. A lot of my peers, and even some of my teachers know, that my favorite musician is Drake. You might not have heard of him. He's a very unknown underground artist. I'm just kidding. Everyone knows who Drake is. And he's great for sure and knows how to make music, but I also take a liking to him because of his personality and character away from the microphone. He won a Grammy a couple of years ago for his song, God's Plan. You might have heard it on the radio once or twice before. I bring this up because I really liked what he talked about in his acceptance speech. He discussed how there are a lot of artists that deserve this award that didn't end up getting it. But he told his fellow musicians that if you have people paying their hard-earned money to go to your shows and getting drenched in the rain to see you perform and singing all the lyrics to your songs, you are already winning. And most importantly, if you have friends and family that support you, you are already winning. If you have people that believe in you, you do not need to be up on a stage speaking or receiving an award. That is why I think this class of students is so special. We all truly believe in each other, and we have so many people that are always looking to help us succeed. Maybe it's a mom, a dad, a sister, a teacher, or maybe a griffin. We all have many people We all have many people rooting for us, and we all have each other's backs. That support and connection is excellence in itself. We don't have to be perfect because we as a class are working to achieve excellence. We are a very tight-knit group of young adults, and because we all support one another, I know each of us are going to do great things in this world. It might have taken me a long time to understand what really matters, but now that I do, I know we are all well on our way to achieving excellence. With that being said, congratulations to the class of 2022, and I wish everyone the best in their journeys. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian and class president of our senior class, Gavin Akiselli. He is a member of the National Honor Society, Connections, and the math team. He played saxophone since 5th grade and played for the varsity soccer team. In addition, Gavin worked as an intern for the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce and will be continuing his academic career studying business management at UMass Amherst. Without further ado, please join me in giving the warmest of welcomes to our class president and valedictorian of the class of 2022, Gavin Akaselli.
Good evening, everyone. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to speak before such an amazing group of individuals on this momentous occasion. I first want to thank Mr. Friend, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Laporto, our class advisors, Mr. DeZago and Mr. Kennedy, teachers, faculty, and staff for helping me and my fellow classmates with this incredible accomplishment. I also want to thank parents, family, and friends for your endless amount of support and sacrifice that has helped us achieve our goals. To my older brother and biggest role model, thank you, Dustin, for guiding me every step of the way, showing me the ropes, and for always teaching me to be my authentic self. And to my younger sister, thank you, Claire, for your unwavering support and encouragement, and for never failing to cheer me up. Finally, to my mom and dad for being the best parents I could ask for. You both are the reason I am standing here today, and I will forever be grateful for your invaluable life lessons, sacrifices, and unconditional love. I want to begin this speech with a quote by Diane Ackerman, which is, "I don't want to get to the end of my life and find that I have just lived the length of it. I want to have lived the width of it as well." We all tend to think of life in terms of longevity, or a linear path we follow for a certain period of time. We ask questions like, how many years did you play the saxophone? How long have you lived in Sutton? How many years did you work as a teacher? While questions like these are not meant to be complex, they don't fully focus on what we actually did during that time. In other words, they do not address the width of our lives. So instead, we should ask questions like, what did you learn, experience, and accomplish? What relationships did you form, or what opportunities did you take? Because these questions tackle the breadth of life. They ask what we have done with the time we were given. And when I reflect on our grade, I see so much more than 4 years. I see our individual passions and talents, our resilience through the pandemic, our determination, our camaraderie and spirit, and most importantly, our support for each other. Multiple teachers throughout the years have personally commented on our class's dedication to academics, our enthusiasm, and the supportive environment we have created. And despite a global pandemic, we entered our senior year without lag and truly set the tone for the rest of the school. It was just like when you see an old friend and worry about having an awkward interaction. But instead, you both pick up right from where things left off, and it feels like a day hasn't passed since you last saw each other. This was just how we began our senior year. Stronger than ever, unified, and excited to live the width of each day. And this is exactly what our school community needed. In fact, a notable amount of width was made by our overwhelming amount of spirit. Our grade was dedicated to supporting both our Sammys and Susies. We carpooled to games hours away, cheered uncontrollably, and never failed to execute a theme, whether it was beach theme in October or dressing up as animals for barnyard theme. Shout out to Emma Farrell for her inflatable pig costume. We also dominated every Spirit Week and never took holidays lightly. For example, instead of a normal lunch, a group of seniors coordinated a Thanksgiving lunch at school, consisting of candles, silverware, tablecloths, and home-made meals. We wore formal attire and gave thanks before eating. This was just one moment that opened my eyes to the sense of community we formed over the years. And yes, everything was eaten during the 30-minute lunch period. Our class has also taken advantage of high school to explore our interests, develop our strengths, and learn new things. We have seniors in almost every club at our school, ranging from connections to robotics to the drama club. We have committed volunteers, talented athletes, and exceptional musicians, Leah Kagan being the best saxophone player I know. And as I walk through the hallways, I'm always amazed by my classmates' artistic creations or by the sound of passionate classroom debates. In fact, we were the first class in Sutton history to have 100% participation in the internship program, which further demonstrates how we have gone the extra step to diversify our education. We often talk about a thing called the Sutton bubble, but because of this bubble, we were able to have small class sizes, develop lasting connections with each other and our teachers, participate in a variety of sports and clubs, and have so many shared experiences as a class. In some ways, the bubble was an ideal setting, providing us with an abundance of opportunities to live the width of our high school years. For me, this unique environment was very beneficial and allowed me to broaden my horizons. I always felt welcome and was never held back from pursuing my interests. Perhaps at a different school, I most likely would have never been able to involve myself in everything that I did at Sutton. And looking back, if I was forced to choose between band and sports or a certain club over the other, it would have erased an entire collection of memories and relationships that I now cherish. This goes to show how rewarding trying new things and joining different communities can be. Through the variety in my academics, I learned so much about the world that we live in, ranging from historical tragedies to scientific theories to mathematical processes to the anatomy of the human body. Every day, I gained more knowledge and awareness and found that there is always room for curiosity. But it was through extracurriculars where I learned about myself. I discovered my interests, determined my likes and dislikes, made connections, and developed a support system. In the next chapter, we will all continue to learn, but learning about ourselves may require the courage to go outside of our comfort zone. But above everything, above clubs and sports and academics, the most important thing truly is our kindness and generosity. We all laugh now about being called peace builders and bucket fillers in elementary school, but ultimately this was a crucial part of our foundation and remains relevant in so many areas of our lives. I will always remember acts of kindness, whether they were towards myself or something I witnessed. Even a simple compliment or holding the door for someone never goes unnoticed. Because kindness is at the core of every relationship and community, and without it, support and belonging would be lost. So soon we will leave the Sutton bubble and enter an entirely new one, aka the real world. A bubble filled with new experiences, people, perspectives, and obstacles. But like high school, there will always be opportunities to explore our interests, find our passions, and continue learning, being kind, and doing what we love. This is living every day to the fullest. This is living the width of your life. And I know my classmates and I will do exactly that in the future. Thank you.
Presenting the gift from the senior class will be our senior class president, Gavin Akaseli, our vice president, Jillian McDonald, our class secretary, Willem Edwards, and our treasurer, Riley Toll. Willem is a member of the National Honor Society and Student Council. He is also a co-captain of the cross-country, basketball, and track and field teams. In the fall, Willem will be attending Springfield College studying health science. Riley has been the treasurer for the past 4 years. She is also a member of the National Honor Society, varsity volleyball team, and co-captain of the varsity basketball team. In the fall, Riley will be attending the University of Connecticut, where she will be majoring in nursing. Please join me in welcoming Gavin, Jillian, Willem, and Riley.
The class of 2022 is honored to continue the tradition of giving Sutton High School a gift from their graduating class. The senior gift is an opportunity for the graduating class to leave a legacy for future students while honoring their time spent at Sutton High School. It is a chance to say thank you for 4 wonderful years. Members of the class of 2022 are no strangers to supporting Sutton High School's athletic programs. Whether we were on the fields or courts playing or in the stands supporting our classmates, a sense of Sutton pride is rooted within all of us. Time will pass and our sports teams will change, but the memories that we have made at sporting events will last us a lifetime. Our class gift, a set of bleachers to be used at our home field, will forever commemorate the lasting impact that the class of 2022 had on Sutton athletics. It will be a safe place for the Sutton community to come together and cheer on the Sammies and Susies with the same level of spirit and pride as our senior class. Thank you.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the high school chorus.
Hello everyone. Our song tonight is 100% dedicated to our seniors because this is such a momentous achievement. It's just so inspiring and impressive, especially considering all we've been through in the last few years. A time when so many people may have felt alone, but tonight really goes to show that you will be found. So thank you, and congratulations to our class of 2022.
You could fall, no one would hear. So let that lonely feeling wash away, 'cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
The past may be hard to let go of, but there is light beyond.
If you follow your dreams, you are capable of anything.
It may be sad that this chapter is over, but starting a new one can be just as fun.
Hold on to your closest dreams and never let go.
The future is yours, so go ahead and take it.
Find love within yourself, and you will never feel alone.
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown, and every
every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. And if you only say the word from across the silence, your voice is heard. Oh, someone will come running. To take you home. Someone will come running to take you home. To take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. 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 Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. Need someone to carry you. You will be found. You will be found.
It is my pleasure to introduce Principal Ted McCarthy to read the scholarships.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the scholarships earned by the class of 2022. Please see an email that Miss Reed will be sending to you later on this evening, because she never stops working, to find out how and when to pick up your scholarship. This class has earned over $71,550 in local scholarships, an amazing testament to their academic achievements. Let's give them a round of applause. And now that we've given them a round of applause, I'm going to actually hold that applause until all the scholarships have been read. Graduates, if I read your name, please stand to be recognized. The American Legion Women's Auxiliary Dudley Gender and Post 14 scholarship goes to Abigail Chase, Emily Andrade, and Gabriel Johnson. The Bank Hometown Academic Merit Scholarship goes to Dylan Dusso. The Bank Hometown Community Spirit Scholarship goes to Jennifer Gramsdorf. The Bank Hometown Leadership Scholarship goes to Allison LaForest. The Beth Mazinski Athletic Scholarship goes to Catherine Wright. The Claudia Simona Memorial Scholarship goes to Matteo Danello and Juliana Gamble. The Daniel S. and Evelyn F. Smith Memorial Scholarship goes to Audrey Hayes. The Dundee Gender and American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Clarence and Ronald Chase Memorial Scholarship goes to Gavin Accaselli. The Dudley Gender and American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Clarence H. and Helen B. Chase Memorial Scholarship goes to Matthew Hicks. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of David C. Schroeder Memorial Scholarship goes to Bryant Johnson. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Frank W. Gerard Memorial Scholarship goes to Noah Ostrowski. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Jack and Carolyn Gurney Tebow Memorial Scholarship goes to Willem Edwards. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Kenneth J. Parker Memorial Scholarship goes to Olivia Marchand. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Raymond D. DeRocher's Memorial Scholarship goes to Allison Bratley. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Robert Smith Memorial Scholarship goes to Catherine Wright. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 on behalf of Sten K. Brote Memorial Scholarship goes to Allison LaForest. Last Dudley General Scholarship. The Dudley Gendron American Legion Post 414 Scholarship on behalf of William B. Crosby Memorial Scholarship goes to Alana Stewart. The Eunice Perry King Class of 1914 Memorial Scholarship goes to Griffin Melia, Kayla Chesanik. The George and Marie Shabbat Memorial Scholarship goes to Alana Stewart. The Jenica Lim Janilla Memorial Scholarship goes to Matthew Hicks. The Jessica Jackson Memorial Scholarship goes to Jennifer Gramsdorf and Aiden Rogan. The John F. Freeland Memorial Scholarship goes to Matthew Hicks. The Mary Conley Memorial Scholarship goes to Christina Longo. The Maureen Hendrickson Memorial Scholarship goes to Jillian McDonald. The Millbury Federal Credit Union Scholarship goes to Matthew Hicks. The Olive Branch Lodge Masonic Scholarships goes to Christina Longo, Evan Matakaitis, Gabriel Johnson, and Gabriel Couture. The Pleasant Valley Dentistry Scholarship goes to Emma Farrell. The Renee and Francis Messier Memorial Scholarship goes to Braden Fruscher. The Sons of the American Legion Squadron 414 From Our Family to Yours Scholarship goes to Olivia Marchand. The Sons of the American Legion Squadron 414 in memory of David V. Caracas Scholarship goes to William Edwards. The Sons of the American Legion Squadron 414 in memory of Sten R. Brote Scholarship goes to Noah Ostrowski. The Sten R. Brote Scholarship goes to Andrew Greco and Christina Longo. The Sutton Athletic Booster Club Scholarships go to Aiden Rogan, Bryant Johnson, Catherine Wright, and Riley Toll. The Sutton Garden Club Scholarships go to Nicholas Colross and Sophia DiStefano. The Sutton Lions Club Scholarship go to Elizabeth Marois, Matthew Hicks, and Olivia Marchand. The Sutton Teachers Association Scholarship goes to Abigail Chase, Bryn Courtney, Carly Bullier, Jillian McDonald, Juliana Gamble, and Leah Joseph. The Sutton Youth Soccer in memory of Jen Dalterio Scholarship goes to Aiden Rogan, Catherine Wright, and Gavin Acaselli. The Victoria Demers Memorial Scholarship goes to Patrick Costa. The Women's Fellowship of Sutton Scholarship goes to Catherine Wright, Elvira Garamy, Evan Matakaitis, and Lindsay Casatley. The Sutton Education Foundation Trust Filling the Gap Scholarship goes to Tessa Medeiros. The Sutton High School Mark Bailey Positive Impact Award Scholarship goes to Riley Toll, Emma Farrell. And finally, over the past 5 years, Sutton High School has had the privilege to partner with the Zini Foundation and support our students. The Zini Foundation's mission is to co-invest with the student, family, and the school to help provide both financial and real-world mentoring to foster self-development. Through the generosity of the Zini Foundation, each year one Sutton High School student will be named the Zini Scholarship, receiving a 4-year scholarship of up to $30,000. This year we have 4 Zini Scholars. Emily Andrade, please stand, Riley Toll, Leah Kagan, and Mateo Donello. How about a round of applause for our recipients? It is time for the presentation of diplomas. Will Superintendent Friend, school committee, and class advisors please join us on the stage at this time?
Jacob Aiden Correnti. Samuel Alexander Kleodakis. Abigail Elizabeth Chase. Maximus Dimitri Salucci. Shay Thomas Blanchard. Carly Francis Bollier. Emily Paige Andrade. Emily Isabel Aguirre. Jared David Allen. Kyle Ephraim Andrews. Megan Ellen Bassett. Allison Yin Bratley. Jacob Joseph Charity. Kayla Marie Chesonic. Emma Lynn Kofsky. Bryn Marie Courtney. Juliana Gergoni Gamble. Jacob David Ford. Emma Rose Farrell. Hunter Thomas Delmain. Noah James Didonna. Mateo Francis Danello. Nicholas Joseph Culross. Gabrielle Christine Couture. Jordan Nicole Cox. Marissa May D'Agostino. William Henry Demers. Sophia Grace DeStefano. Ashton William Dupris. Austin Joseph Flamand. Braden Edmund Frusher. Elvira Lucille Garamy. Julia Appleton Hood. Matthew Harry Hicks. Audrey Janine Hayes. Stephen Casey Grogan. Megan Casey Grogan. Caitlin Casey Grogan. Andrew Michael Greco. Ava Noel Gall. Jennifer Kate Gramsdorf. Ryan Michael Kyle Grondine. Brett Richard Henry. Owen Tyler Hoare. Bryant Joseph Johnson. Jacob Ryan Jonash. Leah Gianna Cajun. Emily Nancy Kenny.
Evan Leonard Matakaitis. Elizabeth Rose Marois. Christina Joan Longo. Patrick Christopher Costa. Fatty Kariakis. Lindsay Claire Casatli. Leah Elizabeth Joseph. Gabriel Thomas Johnson. Mitesh Khanna.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you.
Allison Reed LaForest. Olivia Louise Marchand. Max Addison Marois. Amanda Jane McGee. Jack Henry Menard. Aiden James Noon. Aiden James Oliver. Alana Marie Stewart. Colin Joseph Sargent. Alexander Ramos. Kelvin Goku Paulino Acosta. Noah John Ostrowski. Shaylee Margaret O'Callahan. Lindsay Janine Mulvihill. Griffin Tyler Melia. Myra Grace Page. Katya Grace Pockenjack. Jonathan Ryan Rochford. Isabella Carol Smith. Alec Paul Taylor. Jacob Peter Veely. Samuel Robert Benincasa. Taryn Elizabeth Yankum. Catherine Elizabeth Wright. Aiden Blaze Rogan. Tessa Mary Medeiros. Michael James Zabel. Willem Daniel Edwards. Riley Morgan Toll. Jillian Sean McDonald. Dylan Scott Dussault. Gavin Thomas Akaselli.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present the Sutton Memorial High School graduating class of 2022. Please remain standing and join us in the singing of our alma mater.